Trafika Europe Radio presents Turkish Sofa. Hello everyone and welcome to our show Turkish Sofa for quizzes on the writers and poets from Turkey. It's presented by Trafika Europe Radio and edited by Erkan. I'm your host Erkan Karakiraz, and in this episode I talked to Pınar Nurhan, a short story writer, novelist, and poet from Turkey. She's going to answer my questions on her literary universe, and she's going to read a passage from her recent book, DeLiRiuM, for us. But firstly, I would like to give some details about her. Pınar Nurhan was born in Ankara, in Turkey in 1977. She was graduated from philosophy department at Ankara University. Pınar Nurhan, who has a PhD on Nurdan Gürbilek, has 3 published books. The first one was published in 2009 and it is called The Smell of Modern Murders. It includes poetry and essays in it. The second one is a short story selection. It is called Shellness Snail and was published in 2012. Her last book is a novel and it has been published as an ebook and also audiobook recently, and it's called DeLiRiuM. Her poems, stories, and philosophical essays were published in prestigious magazines and newspapers in Turkey. She was a member of the selection committee in Philosophy Olympics in Turkey in 2006. She's one of the founding members of the Aegean Philosophy platform. She continues to work as a philosophy teacher, yoga instructor, and continues holding philosophy workshops. Yes, Pınar Nurhan is here with us. Welcome to Turkish Sofa. Thanks for being here.
First of all, thank you, dear Erkan, and also people who gave this opportunity.
So, let's begin with talking about your literary approaches. Can you tell that your works from past to present include some common themes? For instance, I see repeating themes like time and existence in them, especially in your novel DeLiRiuM. The theme of time is quite visible. What do you think?
Yes, it's true. Time and existence are things that busy my mind, affect the way I live in even in daily life. I may have created a common theme in my works about time and existence, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. It depends on the need of the text I deal with. Actually, one of the reasons why I preferred studying philosophy at university is my ontological inquiries such as existence, nothingness, time, eternity, and death. Today, I feel that we are like the breathing of infinity far beyond our minds, thinking through concepts. Words are the image of being, the momentary projection. I think that is essential to feel and understand. That is a kind of inner experience. Art and literature are both the product and the reason for such inner experiences. We are beings of time, but we yearn for an out-of-time image.
I see. You started writing about quarantine days from the past in your DeLiRiuM novel before the pandemic, and you weren't sure about publishing it. And we've been experiencing a pandemic disease, and you've decided to publish it in digital formats. You didn't want to miss the moment, or what? Did the zeitgeist ask for it?
This has actually have been a very interesting duration. I started working on DeLiRiuM 4 years ago, and it has been waiting on my study desk for a year. We have made an agreement with the publisher a couple months before the pandemic as well. However, because of these extraordinary events going on around the world, we couldn't realize it. Actually, I have been shocked too. The fact that a real pandemic occurring all around the world and we hearing the word quarantine has shocked both me and my relatives who have read the book while the book itself was questioning coincidental and non-coincidental events. When the release date got postponed, I decided to read the novel on Spotify as a podcast since a friend of mine inspired me to do so. The book DeLiRiuM has finally met its readers on Google Play as an ebook now, and hopefully it will be published soon. Yes, I haven't published DeLiRiuM physically before the pandemic, but it wasn't on purpose. I don't know if it was because of zeitgeist call or not. However, the book's meeting its readers these days feels like perceiving that there are no coincidences.
Turkish Sofa. In your works, your characters, especially women, always live through changes in their lives. Is this on purpose or not?
Well, I do not have the ability to see the end while writing. I don't do the maths of characters' development while creating them either. My writing experience is rather intuitive and goes like a monologue. Does it change in the story of the character? Well, I'm only able to learn it while writing. You have had an observation like this, it's probably right. However, I need to state this as well. I didn't foreshadow the fact that characters will have to have changes. There may be others who think that way. However, it is not a rule to me. I'm just into intuitive, self-experience showing, talked about, not linear but circular, life itself type of works. Expressions like imaginative, surrealistic, or psychological pieces could be right descriptions for my pieces of work.
Turkish Sofa. I'll read your books again in the light of the descriptions you've given. Turkish Sofa goes on. All right, now let's take a break with a song, and when we come back, we'll have more answers to the questions on Pınar Nurhan's ideas about Turkish writers and literature. And as we promised, she's going to read a short extract from her recently published book, DeLiRiuM. But first, we're listening to a song from the one-man band Yurt. The song is called Soyka. The lyrics belong to Pınar Nurhan, and the music is composed by Yurt. Turkish Sofa. Esmer şekerin, dağ çileğin, İstiridye ağızlım, ince dillim, çakıl dişlim, timsah derisi, boğa boğa, boğa bakışlım, sedir gövdeli, orkide ellim, yoluz burunlu, yağmur yanaklım, yaprakta damla kırmızı, dikende yeşil gülüm, mavi ağızlım, martıçılım, iskelem sancağım, kanımda plazma, yeryüzüm gökyüzlü, bulutta güneş, rüzgarda sus. Sesim sesim, gel sesim, git sesim, dur sesim, otur sesim, otur sesim, arka koltukta öpüşme, sinemada uzanan el, ağaç altında sevişkenim, kentin meydanında bir çift soyka, ormanda bir çift güvercin, uzakta bir el, Yakında hiç kimse, içimde her şeyim. Esmer şekerim, dağ çileğim, istiridye ağızlım, ince dillim, çakıl dişlim, timsah derisi, boğa boğa, boğa bakışlım, sedir gövdeli, orkide ellim, yunus burunlu, yağmur yanaklı, yaprakta damla kırmızı, dikende yeşil gülüm, mavi ağızlım, martı çığlım, iskelem sancağım. Aklımda plazma düşme, yarmada gökyüzüne, ağaçta ateş, rüzgar çift soykans, sesin sesin, uzakta sesin, yeniden sesinse, içimde her şey. Sesim sesim, yağda çizelim. Ağaç altında sevişlim, kentin meydanında bir çift soykan, ormanda bir çift severcin, uzakta bir el, yakında hiç kimse, içimde her şey. Turkish Sofa. Welcome back to Turkish Sofa. You're on Trafika Europe Radio. I'm Erkan Karakiraz and I'm with my guest Pınar Nurhan. Alright then, let's go on with the second part. Pınar, who are your favorite writers in Turkish literature? How did they inspire or lead you in your writing process?
This is one of the hardest questions to answer. My journey of reading has started with world literature, philosophy, psychology, sociology, politic writings has been the main road for me. It was only so much later that I turned my face back to the Turkish literature again with an amateur curiosity. Especially in the literature after the republication, Ahmet Hamdi Tanpınar's novels had an impact on me, I have to say. Especially Huzur is a novel that created a modern narrative to itself and ran away from the aura which surrounded the literature at the time of nationalization. While talking about the traumas of the country, which is pushing itself to modernize, it doesn't just talk about what is society's, but also what is individual scars. I'd like to say that I'm mesmerized by İhsan Oktay Anar and Şule Gürbüz's literature in today's literature. Anar, at the same time, is a philosopher. In his works, you enter a narrative that is quite magically like a story, but almost in every page, a side of it bases on historical facts and real experiences. His stories are magical, but the feelings that create are maybe even more real than the ones you feel in real life. And Şule Gürbüz, I'd like to talk about her for hours. Being in the world, what is the world, being human, reproduction, old and new, usually modern, life and deep themes. Surround the reader with Gürbüz's strong vocabulary choices that can define both happiness and sadness at the same time. The ironic language goes above of all of our ideologically or ethically conditioning and catches us from the most human parts of ourselves.
Turkish sofa. Ah, yes, I like Şule Gürbüz's works too. Sevin Burak, Ferit Etgü, Ahmet Hamdi Tanpınar, Leyla Erbil, Thomas Uyar are also some of my favorite writers in Turkish literature. Well, do you observe some differences between the past and the present in Turkish literature? Are there any losses or gains, decline or progresses?
During these last 20, 30 years, it has a lot more variety both in genres and topics. There are works which found the courage to enter dark waters in terms of their way of approaching the themes. Turkey had to experience both modernism and postmodernism at the same time, and this made Turkish literature richer. There are loud and layered pieces being written crossing the line between traditional and universal. This is why it has things to say not only to Turkish readers but also to readers all around the world.
Turkish sofa. I believe I agree with the idea of yours, yes. You studied sociology and you teach philosophy. How important are they in your works?
I don't like descriptions and naming. These make me feel worried. However, swimming in the water of philosophy and sociology may have added a questioning layer to the works. The problems I have chosen as the matters dealt with in my works are definitely humanistic and earthborn problems. They have made me chase and unravel the unseen things that hid behind the scene and inject the feeling that these problems aren't just events to the readers. Literature, perhaps, is a way of making philosophy aesthetically.
Turkish sofa. It seems so. Now it's time for you to read a short extract from your recently published ebook, DeLiRiuM, both in Turkish and English. Yes, we're listening to you. Turkish sofa.
Kapısında Tahaffuzhane yazıyor. Başka Arapça harfler, rakamlar da var. Benim anlayabildiğim kadarı bu. Hasan'la Ali yeniden beliriyorlar. Bize merakla bakan insan kalabalığının belli bir mesafede durmalarını sağlıyorlar. İçerideki kokuyu tarif etmek kolay değil. Binanın girişinde yuvarlak, yüksek tavanlı bir salon var. Hamam kokusuna nem, küf ve acı bulaşmış. Dönen dolapların içinden elbiseler görevlilerce alınıp büyük otoklavlarda dezenfekte edilip banyosunu yapan yolculara geri veriliyorlar. Bu sırada doktor kontrolünden bir daha geçen yolcuların içinde salgın hastalık teşhisi konulmayanlar için geçerli bu. Eğer teşhis konulduysa beyaz hasta önlükleri giydirilip yatakhanelere götürülüyorlar. Önceleri gölge gibi algılıyorum onları. Yaklaştıkça detaylar belirliyor. Kimisinin kamburu çıkmış, ayakları çarpılmış, kimisinin el parmakları düşmüş, kimisinin burnu kopmuş, derileri sertleşmiş, kadın, çocuk, genç ve yaşlılar. Ben bir hekimim. Acil müdahalelerim, kopmuş kol ve bacak görmüşlüğüm, ölü kesip biçmişliğim var elbet ama bu gördüklerim başka. Beden bir anda parçalanmıyor. Ölüm aniden gelip seni kanatlı atına çekip çıkarmıyor beden mezarından. Usul usul sokuluyor. Zehrini sinir sisteminin içine ağır ağır zerk ediyor.
Turkish sofa.
It's written Tahaffuzhane, quarantine station on the door. Other Arabic letters, numbers too. This is all I can understand. Hasan and Ali are seen again. making the crowd which looks at us with curiosity in their eyes stay a distance away. It isn't easy to describe the stand inside. There is the circular, high-ceiling lounge at the entrance. The moisture, mold, and paint mix with the Turkish bed sand. Dresses in the closets are taken by the staff and disinfected in the autoclaves and returned to the travelers who took their bed. By the way, this is applied to the ones who made out from the checkup without any diagnosis only. If there is any pandemic diagnosis, they will wear white hospital apron, then move to the dorms. I see them as shadows only at first, able to see the details as they come closer. Some has hunchback, fallen fingers, some with broken noses and thickened skin, women, children, teens and elders. I'm a doctor. I've had emergency aids, seen broken arms and legs, and cut a corpse for sure. However, these I'm seeing are something else. The body doesn't crash suddenly. That doesn't come in a moment and take you with it. Its winged horse from the grave called the body. It creeps gently and injects its poison in your nervous system slowly.
Turkish sofa. Thank you, Pınar Nurhan. It's a precious passage. You've read a passage from your book DeLiRiuM, both in Turkish and English. Thank you so much to accept my invitation. Thank you for being on our program Turkish Sofa.
You're welcome. I thank you. I had a great time in here on Trafika Europe Radio.
Before closing the program, we listened to a song from the band Yırt. The song is called Sürüngenin Münacatı. The lyrics belong to Fuat Eren and the music is composed by Yırt. Let's listen to it. Epeydir başka dua bilmiyor avuçlarım. Aynı ritim bu aynı nefes aldım. Hangi mevsimdeyiz, hangi tarih daha yakın? Mıknatısı fırlamış yönsüz bir pusulayım. Közle bahar arasında mekik dokuyoruz. İsimleri üfledikçe savruluyor saçların. Başkalarının hayatını zoraki yaşıyoruz. Ümidimiz çok ama çilingiri kayıp kapıların. Kendini yaktın bana, bilemedim kıymetini. Muhacirim yüküm sadece senden aldıklarım. Yerine koydum kayıp bir orman sessiz bir. Kışıma doydum artık senli olsun baharlarım. Közle bahar arasında mekik dokuyoruz. İsimleri üfledikçe savruluyor saçların. Başkalarının hayatını zoraki yaşıyoruz. Ümidimiz çok ama çilingiri kayıp kapıları. Yazla bahar arasında mekik dokuyoruz. İsimleri üfledikçe savruluyor saçların. Başkalarının hayatını zoraki yaşıyoruz. Ümidimiz çok ama çilingiri kayıp kapıları. Ümidimiz çok ama çilingiri kayıp yaşıyoruz. Ümidimiz çok ama çilingiri kayıp kapıları. Turkish Sofa. I'm Erkan Karakiraz. I'm proud to host Pınar Nurhan, a short story writer, novelist, and a poet from Turkey. Stay tuned on Trafika Europe Radio. The next week on Sunday, Turkish Sofa will be on air again. See you then. Trafika Europe Radio presented Turkish Sofa.